We are so pleased to have on set today John Brown, who is a member of the Board of Selectmen of Pembroke. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Good to have you on board.
Well, I appreciate being here.
You've been a Pembroke resident since 2013 and relocated from D.C. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and what you did in D.C. and what you do here and family and kind of on the personal note.
Okay. Well, like I said, I've been here since 2013. Came up here because my wife had a chance to move back home closer to her family, who lives on the South Shore over in Marshfield. Mm-hmm. And just to kind of be part of a community. So she moved for her job, but ever since we've been here, because DC's so transient, you know, I've always told her, I said, I want to be part of a community. I want to be part of, you know, something bigger than just, you know, oh, we're doing this for this member of Congress or whomever it may be. Yeah. And we help each other out and, you know, find out how people are very active within the community.
Yep. And Pembroke is a very active community.
Yes, it is. I was very happy about that. So jumping on in at 13, running for office in 15 the first time, losing by 364 votes.
It was a close one.
I'll never forget that either way. And I always tell Lou Stone the same thing. I'm like, 364, I was close. Yeah. And then after his retirement, getting onto the board in 18 has been real, like, a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you were on the advisory board in between.
Correct.
Yeah. So talk to me about what did it teach you about the town, number one, and how did that help you now that you're a select board member?
Well, after losing my race in 15, Arthur Boyle called me up and said, you know, you talked about these fiscal issues. Would you like to be on advisory? And I said, that's wonderful. Thank you. I said, that was my whole campaign was about, was fiscal issues. What are we doing with our money? How are we getting our money? What aren't we doing that we need to fix? Yep. And so I was on advisory for 3 years, and because of the folks on advisory giving me that learning experience of this is how the budget goes, this is what our role is in the budget, and it kind of has decreased over the years because of more authority has gone on to the town administrator, now town manager.
Exactly, yep.
So it gave me a great responsibility of what we're spending on police, fire, schools, you know, the big ones that everyone sits there and goes, oh, where are we getting this money? What's going on?
Yeah. Now, aside from getting money from, obviously, from your tax base, a lot of grants, a lot of opportunities out there. Do you think we take, or any town takes advantage of all the monies that are out there as much as we could?
Right now, the town of Pembroke, since being now on the inside, as a saying, working with the town manager and the office, we're taking advantage of everything and anything possible that is out there. Same thing with the schools. I'm amazed on basically what they try to, you know, bring in and say. And I always bring up, or I'll text, or I'll email a school committee member or someone on another committee. Are you taking advantage of this grant? Are you taking advantage of this?
Right, right.
And they're like, yes, we are. I'm like, great. I said, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah,
because that's all I need to know. Because people ask you, what are you doing? What's going on? Right. And I can say, well, this is what they're doing. These are step A, B, and C.
Yes. You need to be proactive to get money, but it's out there.
Yes.
There's money out there. Okay, so goals and objectives as being a selectman. What is your number one goal and objective?
Well, number one goal for myself is more almost like a PR person. I want to promote Pembroke for the best opportunities for us, for business to come in, for people to understand that we're here, we're open for business, we're here for you to live, work, live, and play, like how I am right now, which is wonderful. Yep. So I'm able to work from home and take care of my child. Yeah. And then also sit there and let my wife do her thing, since she's been such a rock star for her group and her company. So
what does she do?
She does computer security.
Oh, okay. So well, she must be busy.
Yeah, she is.
Hello.
And I love that basically that she's growing so much too, and we're such part of the community. Yeah. You know, well, I'm more because she's working all the time.
Sure, sure. So one of the things that you talked about at the last Selectmen's meeting is that you are now the liaison with the Council on Aging.
Yes.
So talk to me about that, and also, but before that, tell me about the Dull Men's Club that you have joined. Well, what is it, and why did you join?
When I ran in 18, I was finally invited to the Dull Men's Club.
Which is?
Pretty much guys hanging around on a Wednesday, and they talk every other topic you can name it. It could be sports, it could be politics, even though I don't think they're supposed to talk about politics, religion, and they do it anyway because they're just like...
And this is at the senior center?
At the senior center,
so these are older gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. But you're kind of not a senior. So.
That's correct, yes.
Kind of not. So why did you join?
Well, I showed up and I told them, I said, you guys harassed me so much when I was running. I said, I loved it because I like the honesty. Yep. You know, and it's all in good fun. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, what are the problems you're worried about
Yep.
too. So they said, oh, you want to be a member? I said, why not? So once a week from 10 to 11, they ask me questions or what's going on. And also Lou Stone's as a member of the Dull Men's Club still, even though he's
Yep.
not in town anymore.
Yeah.
But he's, very active on what he knows going on in town too, and he's a great resource for me.
Yeah, and it's the population that's growing the biggest, right? Is our senior population. They're
Yes.
growing faster than any other population we have, and seniors have an awful lot of smart history and background, and I don't think they're listened to enough. And I think it's wonderful that you're doing that with the Dull Men's Club, but also with the COA. So as you're being the liaison between the Board of Selectmen and the COA, what do you see as your main function, and what do you want to bring out of that?
My main function for being on the COA is to let the seniors understand that are part of it, or the board to go back to their members and let them know that the Board of Selectmen are hearing them and
Yeah.
their concerns.
Yep.
So whatever their concern may be, I'm not there to interject anything that what the town's doing. It's them telling me what the town needs to know, how active they are within the community. I just saw a new survey, and in Pembroke itself, almost 76% of seniors are active. So they're driving, they're
Right.
doing what,
Oh, yeah.
it's phenomenal because of certain things of transportation issues
Yep.
that we have here anyway.
Yep.
They have to be, but very healthy, majority are married. It's phenomenal seeing that. And also the thing that's great about being on the Council of Aging and also a part of the Dull Men's Club is these seniors have no filter.
Oh, they don't.
And I love it because
tell it like it is.
They'll tell me what's going
Yep.
on, and there's no flowery,
No.
like.
And they're
"Oh,
not
dude."
on social media, and they're not affected by a lot of things that you and I are affected by every day that we get bombarded with. And they choose to selectively hear what they want to hear. And you're right, they have no filter, and that's wonderful because very few people can speak honestly anymore, and they do. What is their biggest concern? What is the biggest ask that they brought out to you that they want or looking for?
After the first meeting, the biggest thing is to make sure that they are active in the new director that's going to be coming into the Council on Aging.
Okay, so we're now looking for a new director for the Council on Aging in Pembroke.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And they want to make sure that person is, meeting the needs of the seniors, of what they want, the people they're going to be dealing with day to day, the office workers, basically what they want to have as a colleague. Is it going to be ancillary, or is it going to be coming from the outside of who needs to come on in and advocate for the seniors?
Okay.
And I said and same thing with my role. I just want to make sure they understand they're being heard.
Exactly.
Of the 4,500 or so seniors that we have in town, so almost a quarter of the population.
Is over 65.
Exactly.
I know. And not very many, or the percentage-wise, don't take advantage of some of the programs that are offered through the COA. And I suppose you probably want to change that too. Just make it a more vibrant place that more people can go to or want to go to.
Yeah, and they've done a great job actually putting the message out. I get their weekly
Yep.
Newsletter all
Yeah,
the
I
time
do too.
from them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. Oh, they're
Yeah.
doing this cooking class, or they're,
Yeah.
and I love it that they're
do a lot.
doing that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, exactly, it seems like other priorities get in the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they stampede what the seniors want to put out there.
Right.
Because they want to let everyone know that they're active, they're here, and they're willing
They're not
to.
going anywhere.
Yeah. They want to be put
And they'll tell you.
They want to be put to work on letting you know that we're still here. Hi,
Yeah, right, right. Housing grants. Tell me about what is that subject?
Well, the big thing on that was this weekend. I was at the Mass Municipal Association's breakfast, as you probably say, from folks all over, other select board members and people throughout the state. And they were talking about H3507, and this bill right now, what I was getting the gist of, is making it easier to implement housing production plans.
Okay, what does that mean?
So that pretty much means that instead of a 2/3 majority, like on your planning board or ZBAs, you get a simple majority on changing what is best for your city or town. Well,
Okay.
for
What's
us, it's
best for your
just
community.
towns.
Yep.
Yeah. And so to look at that, so instead of like 2/3 majority vote, for towns like ours, there's $4 million in grants for a housing production plan. I said, which we're actually going through the steps right now in Pembroke, and between that, clean streets, we're hitting all the marks.
Okay.
Because we're being very active trying to get this going on for our town, because since we are growing still.
Yeah. So this bill provides it's an easier way to actually get things approved and put through?
Exactly. So
Okay.
what we want. So we're an open meeting, town meeting.
Yep.
So we're looking at how we approve the 17 different, variances of.
Of our last town meeting, we had 17 changes to bylaws.
Yes.
About zoning.
Yeah.
Which basically was a huge amount of things to have on one warrant. Was I've never seen that before. But it's all to make everything more efficient.
Exactly.
And to make the town more efficient and make the process more efficient.
And the one thing for cluster housing that we had to
Yes,
go
that
through.
we did for the Pembroke Country Club. Yep.
55 and up.
Yep.
But that's going to affect all of town. So
course
anyone
it
else
is.
is doing cluster housing,
Yep.
they're going to be at least along the same parameters and not by case basis.
Okay, which is great. Now, you're going to meet with our state representatives. You're going to meet with Josh Cutler and with Senator Vinnie DiMacedo about an issue to do with school and school funding. Can you talk about that?
Well, that's how it started. The biggest thing for a member like myself is what is the whole town getting?
Okay.
What are we going to be getting from the state? And
For aid.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what are our representation giving us as of advocating for us?
Okay.
What else? I mean, is it part of the school funding? Is it part of, more road money? So as a member of the board, I'm looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
But it started off as, why aren't we being reimbursed for our out-of-district placements,
Transportation.
transportation-wise? So for vocational, and I also brought in special needs
Okay.
to that effect.
So so people understand, if a student that lives in Pembroke
Mm-hmm.
has to go to another school or school system because of either a class that they need to take or a situation like a special needs that they have,
Mm-hmm.
we're supposed to be reimbursed for the transportation of that student.
Yeah, so it's called Chapter 74 in
Yep.
the Chapter 70 monster
Realm.
that is,
Yep,
that is
okay.
going through the legislature right now, actually in the Senate right now.
Okay. And we're not getting reimbursed.
Well, because it's not being funded. And that Chapter 74 not being funded, but the regionalization part of it getting another $5 million.
They are being funded.
They're being funded.
Yeah.
So put it, and I don't want to throw the 12th district under the bus, but Silver Lake.
Yep.
Regionalization
Yep,
for
regional
school,
school,
right?
yep.
If that's a fact that basically 74 is not funded,
Yep.
then Kingston shouldn't be funded for their transportation, but Halifax and Plimpton should, since they're part of the regionalization, since they have to go out of district for school.
Right.
Now, for regionalization getting money, my concern was, well, we send kids out all over the place.
Right.
So why aren't we being funded? And for some reason, the legislature doesn't want to fund it yet.
Okay.
And by law, they have to.
Right.
But they don't.
So you want to find out from our state reps and senators why that's not happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like low-hanging fruit of get them in the door.
Sure.
Let us
Have a conversation.
know with the school
Yep.
committee that this is what we're doing to help you as elected officials also. Same
Right.
thing with the planning board.
Right.
I'm an elected official, so are they. They have the same responsibilities.
Yep.
I might be on the higher echelon, but it doesn't mean that they're not as important because they're just accountable to the people as
Sure.
I am.
Yeah. And with a school budget being, what is it, 60% of our town budget?
About 65%,
65%.
Not including benefits.
Right.
Which
so
brings
it's,
it up.
it's huge. So any place that we can get reimbursement that we're entitled to, we certainly should make sure that we're getting it.
And I would love it. I mean, and just like little things of what we can do. What other grants are out there that we're missing that
Yeah.
we're not looking at, or we just glanced over and said, oh, we're not eligible for it.
Right.
Because I've heard some things from other committees where they went through the whole process and then they found out they weren't eligible near the end.
Right. So, and grant writing is really a specialty. And
Yes.
is there anyone in our town that actually is responsible for grant writing, or is it kind of up to each department?
Well, right now we still have Brandon Gulnick, who basically is a part-timer for us and doing our grants,
Okay.
which I railed on about when I ran in 15 and also in 18.
Yeah.
You know, what grants are we going for? What can we be more vocal on what we get? And as soon as we get something, because the police and fire now are really doing a great job
Yeah,
with that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Of we got something, put it out to the public.
Oh, absolutely. Let them know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it. Yeah.
It's okay to pat yourself on the back for a
Absolutely,
good job.
absolutely.
So the people understand that we're getting this, so it's not on your tax-paying dime.
There you go. And that's the bottom line. And that's where we're going to end it today.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. We've enjoyed talking to John Brown, who's the Pembroke Selectman, and we'll see you again on PAC TV Community News.